I'm making this video a night before my last GCSE. Why? I don't really know, but if you've clicked on this video, you want to start a clothing brand. Or maybe you've already started one and you just don't know what to do. Now I'm sure a quick search on YouTube can find you thousands of other videos that start exactly like this. But the difference is I'm not selling a course. You don't have to like, follow and subscribe. You don't have to donate the link in my bio or anything like that. I have literally nothing to gain from doing this, which means I'm not going to hold back any secrets or give you bad advice. I'm going to give you the reality of starting a clothing brand, which I haven't really seen when watching other videos when I was in your situation. I'm going to split this video into 3 short key segments. First up is branding and designing. Do not make your brand a logo. And what do I mean by this? Do not just stick a logo or even worse a font onto a tracksuit and call it a day and pretend it took anything more than a minute to make. Your brand is an identity, it's how you communicate with your audience and the unique style you're going to bring to them. Emphasis on unique, because the market is starting to become saturated, and that means there's a tendency for beginner clothing brands to get an immense amount of hate. However, this hate can be avoided by getting it right the first time. With my products and my videos on TikTok and Instagram, I don't get that much hate outside of the occasional racist comment, because I'm doing something unique and making a name for myself. My first drop was embroidered raw denim baggy jeans. This is so out there, if you look it up, I am the first result. And that's me, with my small clothing brand. If you go up to someone and ask them what Denimorpheus is, they won't have the foggiest clue what you're talking about. And yet there I am, first result. That's the power of making a brand through your designs and individuality, compared to sticking a shit slogan or brand name onto a low quality hoodie and expecting it to blow up. Another point in branding is to have confidence in your products. I'm not going to name anyone, but I've seen so many people on TikTok who clearly just don't like their products. They made a design, got a bit of adrenaline, placed a bulk order way too soon, and now they're stuck in debt with a bad product desperately trying to sell it, when they don't even like it themselves. And that's the difference between a good clothing brand and a bad one. I don't make stuff to sell it. I make them because I enjoy designing new clothes, I enjoy wearing them. Guess where my hoodie is from? Guess where my jeans are from? It's all from my clothing brand. Make stuff that is up to your high standards so you know no one else will have a problem wearing it. And personally, I design everything myself, but there are a lot of great options out there if you can't do this, such as Fiverr. But I strongly recommend getting an iPad for Procreate or a computer for Photoshop, either way, to help you create designs. And this leads me on to my next segment. Manufacturing. By far the most daunting prospect of starting a clothing brand is how to talk to a manufacturer to bring your vision to life. But I'm going to make it simple for you. There are 2 main routes you can go through, Alibaba or Pakistani manufacturers on Instagram. Let me straight away say, if you want reliable, high quality stuff, go straight to Alibaba, and there are methods in place to make sure you don't get scammed. However, Pakistani manufacturers tend to be cheaper, and quality can be good if you know what you're doing. When talking to manufacturers, they are not your friends, and this is the trap I fell into at first. You are a customer, and they are providing you with a service, so you need to make sure you are satisfied. Do not start talking to a manufacturer until you've sorted your shit out. Make mock-ups, do market research, the whole shebang, and make sure you are very clear about the material and composition you want on your product. You can't include too much detail. If you don't do this, the manufacturer is free to cut costs and make your finished product worse because you didn't specify GSM, for example. If you're learning something when talking to manufacturers, you're doing it wrong. You should be able to talk to them, send them a clear mock-up of your designs, and they should be able to make it instantly once you send the money. Always include PDFs of your designs, material, GSM, what type of wash you want, measurements and any additional requests. Always include that in one mock-up and send it to them. It's as easy as that. Just don't rush the process. Take your time. It can take a day to make a whole mock-up pack, and this may feel like a long time to just write a couple words such as material composition, but you need to do your research before doing it. You're spending money. You don't want it to be money wasted. Personally, I don't haggle with manufacturers, and I would encourage you to do the same because it's quite often they're underpaid, and it only makes sense that they get paid fairly for their service. But this leads me on to my next sub-point, is that you shouldn't be in it for the profit. If you're starting a clothing brand for the sole purpose of making profit, that's when you won't last, and that's when you'll fall apart due to a lack of dedication. If you're profit driven, you will never succeed. It's very natural to be running a deficit for quite a while after starting a clothing brand. There are costs such as Shopify, domains, samples, bulk orders, marketing, editing software, and so much more. I've just placed a bulk order for this hoodie, and I am in a deficit right now. However, as I'm driven by passion to make and distribute nice, sustainable clothes, this doesn't matter to me right now. And it's only when you get rid of the fear of losing money that's when you can allow your brand to actually expand. Final point is, of course, marketing. I'm sure you've seen clothes that have horrible designs, but they instantly sell out due to good marketing. And yet you may have the best product in the world, but you just don't know how to sell it to people. This is the problem I'm facing now. I'm not saying my product is the best in the world, but I do have a lot of confidence in their looks and their quality. But this isn't overly reflected in my sales due to me just not knowing how to market them yet. But I'm learning and improving every day. I'm learning how to use editing software, and I've recently purchased a Creative Cloud subscription, giving me access to Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom, and every day I'm becoming better at marketing. When it comes to marketing, I do not take advice from other people, and neither should you. This links back to your brand identity. The best way to improve is trial and error, and this allows you to build up an identity with people that have seen your errors, and they can look back and see how far you have progressed. Just post videos of you talking on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and none of that AI voice shit. I promise you people prefer hearing someone talk honestly, without days of planning your videos to be as captivating as possible. Makes you talking with high quality photos of your product and be consistent, then the sales will follow no matter what. It might be slower than copying what every other brand does at first, but I promise it will allow for a much higher productive potential capacity. PPC, Economics, GCSE. Think about it like a market system. There's one market where everyone is. It's a saturated market, you have to compete with everyone else. Or you can create your own market. Obviously, creating your own market will take a lot more effort, a lot more time, and you may be in a deficit for much larger time. But once you've done it, you'll have your own market to sell to where everyone can just instantly buy all your products. Building a clothing brand just isn't easy, not in the slightest, and you'll need to weigh whether it's something you can actually do. There's setbacks, there's drawbacks, there's times when you're questioning whether it's worth it. But remember, every big brand out there, Courtier, Supreme, whoever you might look up to, had humble beginnings. The hardest part of any journey is always starting. Your body does the rest. If you have any questions whatsoever, just send me a message on my Insta, Denimorpheus, or leave it in the comments and I'll always be able to reply pretty much straight away. So, I'm Harry, the founder of Denimorpheus, and this won't be the last time you hear from me.